Okay, for mass spring systems, this WAEC Practical Physics 2026 is based, question 1 is based on mass spring systems. So though we don't know the particular design, but I've just made an assumption. That's the one I designed on my YouTube page and also Facebook page. You can check it out, and that is based on mass spring system. So the mass spring system, the period of oscillation for a mass spring system is giving us T is equal to 2 pi root m over k. That is the period of oscillation for mass spring systems. So knowing fully that our force is given as this from Hooke's law, this is given as this. You know, the force is mass times acceleration due to gravity. That is mg is equal to ke. So the whole of this equation here can be modified as this, m over k, to give us E over G. The whole of this is the same thing as this. So I'm going to plug wherever I see M over K, I'm going to plug E over G. So that will give us period of oscillation becomes 2 pi roots E over what? G. Okay? So that's the period of oscillation for this experiment. Now, if we have the whole of this can also be modified as T square is equal to 4 pi square E over G. So, which is the same thing as T square equal to 4 pi square over G, all into what? E. Now, we can compare this with equation of a straight line. So, that is y is equal to mx plus what? C. For a graph of T square, against E, this is the slope. That's what it means. The graph starts from origin. There's no intercept. It starts from origin. And this becomes the slope. So our slope from question 1 is going to be, 4 pi square over G. So we substitute, we make G the subject of the formula. Our G becomes 4 pi square over what? Slope. So the slope from your graph, from your experiment, 4 pi square divided by that slope will give you the acceleration due to gravity. And mind you, the acceleration due to gravity should be about 9.8, which is approximately 10 meters per second square. So it should be within that range. That is the aim of the experiment, maybe to determine the acceleration due to gravity for a body, oscillating body. So this is just the acceleration due to gravity. Another thing you need to consider as you go into your exam tomorrow is precaution. You have to take this note of these two precautions. One of the precautions is that you avoid parallax error when taking readings from the meter rule. So you try to avoid parallax error. The challenge we have is that some students spell this thing very wrongly. So your parallax error is written like this. Parallax error. You take note of that. On which instrument are you taking the parallax? Are you avoiding the parallax error? It's on the meter rule. You have to mention the meter rule. So please don't spell this as parallax. It's not parallax. This is wrong, but this is correct. Parallax what? Error. Another thing you need to take note is that you avoid, I avoided drugs. Then you say, I avoided drugs. Please, you take note. I avoided drugs. This one is not like this. So this is D-R-O-U-G-H-T, drought. This is D-R-A. So some students make a mistake of using O instead of what? A. So the correct one is this. This one is also correct. This is a shortage of water, when there is a shortage of water, but this is the movement of the wind. That is what this one means. So this is the correct one. Take note of these two spellings so that you will not run into a problem. This one has a 1 mark. This one also has 1 mark. So you have your 2 complete marks and precautions. Thank you.